Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And good morning, my dear friends. How are you? It is a beautiful Monday, beginning of a brand new week. Your Sunshine is with you. Hopefully you had a great weekend because it was a long one, but it was hot. But I'm sure you got to do a lot of things. And I want to say thank you for checking in with me on this Monday morning, as you always do. And today is going to be a great day, my dear friends. Every single week I try to line up guests that's going to be so informative for us, to get us up on things that we need to know and to take us to another level, you know. And I really hope that my being successful at that, because of the contacts that I see on the outside when I run into people, just how often I get to say thank you again for tuning in to me. And I really want to say thank you for just supporting everything that we're trying to do here to make sure that the community is informed in more ways than just one. I greatly appreciate that. Now, today we're going to kick off the first hour, well, the first 30 minutes. That's it, the first hour. We're going to speak something into existence here. My first 30 minutes, we're going to talk about being prepared for tomorrow. Can somebody tell me what tomorrow is? Of course, it's Tuesday, and it is the 20th, so therefore that's all about the elections. We're going to talk about making sure you've got everything in order for tomorrow. If you're not sure about things, that I can tell you where to go and how to go to get the information that you need, because it is utterly important that you cast your vote. And then on the second hour, oh wow, am I excited about my guest. We've got Dr. Ian Smith. And I'm sure you've seen him on TV. You see him on Rachel Ray. You see him with Celebrity Fit Club. You see him with on the morning show with the Today Show, Good Morning America. And he's talking about so many things that he's doing and yet doing with the fact of all of his books that he's written. And we're going to be talking with him today about his new book called Eagle Rock. And but you see it right there, Eagle Rock. We're going to be talking about that book today. And of course, we're going to be talking about some things that he's got coming up with this new book. And I know you're going to be just as excited as I am, that I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to talk with him and to get him ready for today. So let's start off by this. On the screen, you're going to see things coming up today about where you need to go to get everything, to make sure you got everything in order for this voting season. Because immediately after tomorrow, we've got to dive in 150% going into the general election coming up in November. And I want to really encourage you, because I've been watching the numbers, and you can go to excamia.gov and you can see the numbers of how many participants, the persons that who've gotten in with their votes, with their mail-in votes and everything. You'll be able to access that to see where we are. But today, what we want to make sure is the fact that you know the importance of your voice. You know just how important it is to cast your vote. And wow, I've got a phone call already. So I'm glad about that, because we need to talk about the things that's going on today so that we can make sure that we are ready for this voting session that's coming up tomorrow and coming up in November. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. How you doing?
I am doing well. How about you? How did your weekend?
It was a busy weekend, as always, but I had a great time.
Excellent. That's what matters.
Did you do any self-care this weekend?
Of course I did. It's called sleep.
Yeah, everybody need it. Everybody needs that sleep.
No doubt about it. Well, Eric, we're talking today about tomorrow and this election season, because my first 30 minutes today, we're going to be encouraging people to go out to make sure that they are ready to vote. I'm sure right now you got everything in order for this primary election that's coming up on tomorrow.
Yes, correctly. I went ahead last week and placed my mail-in ballot and sent that off. And I know that there's a way for me to use this code that came in with the ballot to check and track my ballot. So I will do that today, just to make sure that it did get placed in there and that it did get counted. So I was able to do that, and then that way I'm already prepared for this the primary in November.
Oh wow, that is great. You know what, Eric? Because we got to make sure that let's refresh a little bit. Now you got 3 ways that you can vote. Of course, to by mail. We're talking now that will be for the general right now, but you can early vote. That's already ended on yesterday. And the election for tomorrow, it kicks off at 7:00 a.m. tomorrow morning through 7 p.m. tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, that's correct.
And what I want to do is to encourage everybody to exercise your right. Now, according to the weather forecast, it's not going to be raining. The weather is going to be beautiful. So therefore, you don't have to stay at home and say, oh, I need that. I just need this. But I do now, I don't know. I got to check this to make sure, because when we had the supervisor of elections on here, Robert, last week, and he was talking about there are even people who do not have rides to get to the polls tomorrow, that there was a business that was even picking you up to take you on to make sure you get to the polls. If there is a way that you know where there are people who do not have transportation, why don't you call me and let me know so we can share that, so people can plan that for tomorrow if they do not have transportation to get to the polls. You know the number is 850-432-7768. And we used to do this many times, Eric, all the way getting people to go out to encourage them and just have fun. It's a fun thing to do when you realize you had that piece of paper in your hand and say, oh, I've already cast my vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we was always doing our part, and our one group right off mine is Real Women Radio. I believe that they have the access that they're going to be able to go out and pick up people and make sure that they get to the polls as well. And then what I would do on my part is any other organization that's doing that, I would definitely post that on my social media so people would know how to get themselves into the polls.
Oh, really? Well, thank you for always being so willing to help, Eric. I appreciate that.
Thank you, and I would love for you to take a little moment to talk about your book. I started up there with Ian's book, and I don't think you ever had a chance to really talk about the evolution of how that book came together.
Oh, my God. No, I didn't, because I was going through a transition. And that book, what he's talking about, with the right there next to Dr. Ian's book, is Catch the Rays of Sunshine. It's inspirational. It's bite-sized inspiration for every day. And you can log on to Amazon right now and order that book. And I'm telling you, it will inspire you. Eric read the book, and he says, oh, my God, what do you think about the book, Eric?
I think it was such an amazing masterpiece of work. I just love everything that you did in the book, how you captured your moments and what you was going through, and then how you used those moments to inspire others. I know that it was an inspiration for you, but it's also going to be an inspiration for each person that reads that book and take them through when they're going through some dark times, and even when they're not going through dark times. That book, Catch the Rays of Sunshine, is going to be one of these books that's just like your Bible that you just want to have with you and have it with you all the time.
Aw, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, my dear. I really do. Thank you so much. And everybody, you can get that book by going to Amazon.com. Eric, thank you for calling in, and have a great day, dear.
You too as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Everybody, please. Now, we're talking about, I thank you for that tidbit about getting me to get my book, but I'm talking about this. I want you to be ready to vote. Now, we had it up on the screen, the things that you need to do to make sure that you're ready for voting for tomorrow. Now, you know that the early voting ended on Saturday, so hopefully for those who went out to go. But if you log on to excamia.gov, you can find out all of the numbers that you need to know. The percentage that's been mailed in, that is all there, is accessible to you. And for the elderly, I want to say this. If there are persons who want to go to the polls tomorrow, but you're not sure, you do not have the transportation to get there, please call me so I know there are some people that I can connect you with to make sure that you get there on time. Oh, thank you. It was Joe Mars Funeral Home. That's who it was. I knew that Robert Bender had said a name, but I couldn't remember. But I hope that if David is listening or watching, that he can call in to confirm that at 850-432-7768, because we want to make sure that you're out there and you can get there without any hesitation. You won't have to stand there all day and get that vote in. So if even anybody know him, have him call the studio right now so I can talk with him and we can confirm the fact that he will be also allowing people to have rides to the polls on tomorrow, which if he is, I commend you, because that's a lot. I wonder will you be riding in that great big limousine? That would be something, now, wouldn't it? But that's a great gesture if that's the case, that he will take the time from his schedule to make sure that people can get to the polls to make that important decision, that is by voting tomorrow. And we talked about this on last week, how important it is that you may say, oh, let me bypass the primary. But coming up for the election, that's our general election that's coming up in November. This is just going to catapult you over to that. It's as important for your local elections, so your local candidates, as it is for the general election, my dear friends. So I want to encourage you, let not it be something that's going to hold you back. Get it done. And then when it comes off after tomorrow, you know we're going to go into, overdrive to make sure that everybody is aware and heard for this general election that's coming up in November. I know you feel the importance that I do, because it's absolutely important, not just for the general, but for the local as well. We're going to put those numbers back up on the screen here in a little bit, because there was a lot of things that we talked about last week when we had the supervisor of elections here with us. And if you do not, I think the number is 595-3900, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe that's the number where you can call to make sure, if you have questions, that you can get them answered. And I'll say this, I've said this on many a time, the only crazy question is the one that's not asked. Holding it to yourself won't get no answers at all. So take that time and do that, because you know what we see as a country. You know what we see right here in the city of things that you want to happen to better where you are. And how do you do that? You hear all of the commercials that's being aired now for those who are encouraging you to go out to support them. So my question to you, this is how you can get in that seat who you would like to have there, and that is by voting. Don't just throw it away and think that they're out there pleading for that for no reason at all. And I want to encourage you, when there are things that you need, don't hold back. Look, they made a promise to you, then you go out there and I always say, make them stand up on their word to get it done. And that's how we see change. So that growth here in Escambia County can be just as well as it is in the great big cities, New York, California, wherever. Right here at home should be even more important. So I say that to put the emphasis on. That's how important it is for you to go out and make sure you vote tomorrow in the primary elections. And I just encourage you to do it. Now, when I talk to you today, I was talking to a friend of mine this past weekend that we were talking about how is it that we can come together when there are so many things that's going on as far as what we experience right here in Escambia County. I think that we've got so many different things that are sprouting out, going so many different ways. I'll say this, and being as transparent as possible. If you, me, and all that are listening, for those that are in the offices, if we put all of our entities together to make something better, I think we can do even more. It's just like you always hear us talking about, it takes a family to raise a community, a village to raise their children. Why can't we use that same concept to make the difference right here with the adults, to make a difference here in Pensacola? It's not about I, it's about us. It's not about I, it's about us. And this is why you hear me talking about the election so often now, because I know the importance of getting your vote in. We're going to talk more about that as we prepare to get ready for Dr. Ian Smith coming up after this break right here, Sunshine's Corner. Don't go anywhere. Call me and talk to me, 850-432-7768. We'll be back with more.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors, all when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon. Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
Keeping your family healthy can be complicated. Baptist makes it better with trusted primary care doctors for the whole family and trusted specialists at convenient locations throughout the region ready to care for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. It's Monday. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. And you know what? I had a fantastic year. Eric asked me what did I do for some self-love this weekend. Yeah. Well, you know, Eric, I did a lot of stuff on the inside. It was a little bit hot on the outside. Couldn't do that. But as we approach fall, the time is changing. The days are getting shorter and the temperature is going to drop. But let's go back and make sure we go over the last things that we need to make sure that we are ready to take care of coming up in this election on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the primary election here in Escambia County, and I want you to be prepared, and I really want you to make sure that you keep this top of mind. Let that be one of the most important things that you take care of tomorrow. If you did not get the opportunity to take care of it in early voting, then tomorrow from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. tomorrow night, here's the opportunity where you can be heard. That is one of the most important things that you can do on tomorrow. And of course, with your being individual, if there's a person out there, especially I always think about the elderly. If there are some persons that you are aware of that do not have transportation, that they would like to get to the polls to make sure that they vote. And if, let's say if your caregiver or your mom or your daughter or your son is not there to get you there, let's make sure that we get them there. Let's check in and get them there. I would hope that some of the ladies like Ardelia, I know she's watching, that the things that they do, how we can make sure to check for see if people are ready and equipped for the voting for tomorrow. So I'm asking you if there is another entity. I know we had talked about Joe Morris, but if there's another entity, if there are churches out there that would be able to make sure that the persons get to the poll, I think that we should flood them. We should really flood them above and beyond what anybody could think or imagine and get these votes in on tomorrow. It is utterly important. And if you have a church that does that, let us know. We got to spread the word. Holding it in your hand is not going to help anybody. Spread it out so somebody will know what services you can give to help. Let's not be selfish in that area as well. I know gas prices are high, but look what we're doing in that process. We're getting somebody that maybe can, help you out with something else. Never can tell, but the fact of it is that should be the problem that we try to curb to get it done. I'm thinking so fast. I'm thinking about Dr. Ian, okay, because she asked me something about him. We're going to be talking with Dr. Ian here in just a little bit because I looked at the clock and it won't be long because I'm so excited to get that message across to you. But nothing more exciting than to spend this Monday together. I never get the opportunity to sit and talk to you from my heart, as a matter of fact. Since I started the show. And for those who know me, you know all about me. Okay. Okay, remind you everybody that the Democratic National Convention is going to be on the air tonight. Don't forget about that. Thank you for that text message from the person that texted that in. And we're going to remind everybody the Democratic Convention that is tonight, so don't forget about it. Get there and get glued in front of it at 5:30 p.m. today. And don't forget about it. Spread the word, just like I'm spreading the word with you. If there's something else I've overlooked, hey, look, call me, text me. I'll get it out there because we are the information link. This is the place where you can talk about those difficult conversations. This is the place where you can feel comfortable talking about things that even bother you, even if it's about the election, my dear friends. This is that safe place right here, Sunshine's Corner on Blab TV. And as always, getting the information out to you is utterly important. We got to learn to share. And I see already where Eric has already shared some of the things about with the election on his page. And if you don't know what you need to do, feel free. Call me. will get all the information you need so that you can be a part of this election season, because it is going to be rather quick. From here on downhill, it's going, especially all the way through. Okay, now look at this now. Look at, these are the acceptable form of identification that you need to have for tomorrow. Make sure you have a Florida driver's license, a Florida ID. They got to be up to date. Don't go back and get that old one you found in the drawer. U.S. passport or passport card, a debit or credit card. Now that I didn't realize. I guess so, because it's got everything on it. You got your military ID, your student ID, your retirement center ID. You got your neighborhood association ID, your public assistance ID. Look at this, concealed weapon, I bet, concealed weapon license. You got your VA cards, you got your government employee ID, your federal, state, county, or city. This is all coming to you from Robert Bender. He is the supervisor of elections, and you can make sure, if you have access to a computer, do it. Now, if you want to call them, there's something that he told us last week that was really, really, I thought was informative. Anything that you need, even if you want to come down and you know, you can sit there and watch them do certain things. They don't mind you doing that. You can contact them today at 850-595-3900. I was pretty good. I called that number off pretty good. I'm quick on those numbers, right? But you can email them as well. All the information is on the screen right now. So I take a screenshot of it so that you can have it. You can go to the website, examyourvote.gov. But again, remember, you got to have your ID. It's got to be a valid ID. A valid ID. Don't get there and you don't have it. Get all of those credentials in order so that you'll have them with you when you get there tomorrow. You got it already set. I'm ready. I go in. It takes just a few seconds. Do what you got to do. Boom. It's all over. It's utterly important. And what's something else that Robert talked about when he was here before is the fact that, you know, coming up, I'm pretty sure that everybody got those in the mail. And when you got those in the mail, that there were even examples of what you could do, how to vote, you know? And so what I'm saying to you is this, to make sure, my dear friend, there it is right there. Now, you don't have to have your precinct number. You don't have to take this card with you. I found out about your voter registration card. You don't have to have that. However, I mean, I got mine. I didn't know you didn't have to take that with you, because I had that, my ID and everything with me when I went to the polls. So please, my dear friends, make sure that you are ready for tomorrow. Don't let anything hold you back. And like again, I say, if you need rides or something like that, let's do it at ahead of time. It may sound like I'm being repetitious right now, but sometimes repetition works, because you may not hear it until I say it 5 or 6 times. But please make sure that you are ready for tomorrow without a question. Okay? That's how we do it right here at Sunshine's Corner. Okay, we just got a confirmation that Joe Morris Funeral Home will be giving rides to the polls, and you know how to call them. I'm pretty sure you do. I don't have that number right in front of me, but 432-3436. Okay, and of course you know that area code is 850. If you need a ride, you can call there, Joe Morris Funeral Home, and they will give you a ride to the polls. Don't see that. We're letting it. You're finding out now. There's nothing that's going to keep you from it. All you got to do is get there. Call the people who are going to get you there. He might pick you up in that limousine. You know, he got some pretty ones over there. But maybe whatever it takes, allow that to be, not be the opportunity that's not going to get you there. Because we got the rides for you. We're telling you what you got to have in order to vote, because it's utterly important to do that, my dear friends. Please pass the word. Don't hold this information and not share it with somebody, because it is utterly needed. I tell you, this local election is only going to catapult what's going to happen into the general election that's coming up in November. And I encourage you to do one thing, is cast your vote. Speak loudly. I was listening on, you hear a lot on social media. It was on TikTok, I believe, I was listening to one day this weekend. And I heard they had this guy who was taking calls about being educated on your candidates. I'm talking about your local candidates now. Get educated on them. Know what they bring to the table. Hold them accountable. That's why we put them in the seat, so that we can get some changes done, to get some things taken care of. But don't be afraid that if you vote them in, that you can't go back and say, okay, can we have a chat about this, so we can get this taken care of, even if it's down to getting your street repaired. If there's a spot on the road that needs to be fixed, all of that compiles of what they do for us. And that's the importance of taking care of it, my dear friends. And I want to thank Jen one more time, as you put up there those things that you got to have one more time to make sure you vote, those identifications that you need to bring that you can have accessible so that you can get in to vote. Here are your acceptable forms of ID. Keyword, acceptable forms of ID. You know you can have your Florida driver's license. You've got your retirement center ID. You can get your neighborhood association ID, your public assistance, your concealed weapon, all of that. You got your United States passport, you got your passport card, all of these, a debit card. I did not know a debit card was that, but I thought it was, I guess what it's on there, it says debit card. And your bills, maybe that's a second form, thank you, Jen, possibly so, because I don't think there's a picture on your debit card, is it? I don't think so. But maybe you take that with you to prove, okay, here I am with your Florida ID. Don't just walk up there and say, hey, look, I heard Sonshine say all I needed was my debit card. Wrong answer. Right. If you've had a recent address change, you need to bring something with that new address, like your water bill, your power bill, your cable bill, something to prove that, to make that so it won't be any difficulty getting your vote in. That was a great point to remember. If you have moved and have not had the opportunity to have that change, bring something that you've got that address on that you pay. And if I were you, if I've moved recently, I'd take two forms. I would take a water bill and a power bill. Then you know you got it covered. All of these things are important so that when you get there tomorrow, that there's nothing that's going to turn you around, that you can continue to just do what you got to do, cast your vote, walk out, go home, and know that it's been done. And if you mailed in your votes, you know, there is a way that you heard Eric even share this. It was a good point to bring back up, that you can log on and check to see if your ballot has been accepted and counted. Come on. There's so many ways. We don't have to let it fall through the cracks anymore. And I'm talking about with the primary election, that's what I'm talking about for tomorrow. You can do that as well. And coming up, all of that right there. I'm telling you everything that's so important that we need to do, because I hear someone, well, I can't do that. Oh, can't never got any further than your lips. Please, let's make that happen. Joe Marsh is going to be giving you rides tomorrow, 432-3436. I'll be back with more right here, Sunshine's Corner on Blab TV.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
This is Wayne at Icon Automotive in Robertsdale, Alabama, and I wanted to tell you more about our powertrain warranty forever. It comes with any vehicle we sell that has 80,000 miles or less at no additional cost to you. We put our vehicles through a tough safety and mechanical inspection before it can have the powertrain warranty forever, giving you a peace of mind with your purchase. This warranty is good anywhere in the country, and it covers 100% of parts and labor with no mileage limit, and is covered as long as you own the vehicle. Come pick out your dealership car at non-dealership pricing with a powertrain warranty forever at Icon Automotive.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m., hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Go back to being a kid again. Head on over to Bubba's Sweet Spot. We've got house-made caramels, fudge, pralines, marshmallows, and lots and lots and lots and lots of chocolate. Looking for more traditional candy? We've got you. Our walls are covered head to toe in all the classics, from taffy to gummies and lollipops to gumballs. And don't forget our ice cream. With endless toppings and dipped cones, we've got what you're craving. Let us take you back to a time when every problem could be solved with candy. At Bubba's Sweet Spot.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. And I tell you what, in just a little bit, we are going to be checking in with Dr. Ian Smith, a young man that I had the opportunity to meet several years ago. He is such a figure, a leading figure that's known for his health and wellness, all the books that he's written, all the work that he has done in the community to make a difference now right here with our health. And I'll tell you, when he was doing, it was not 1,000-pound challenge, it was 1,000,000, I believe, it was back then when Dr. Ian did that. It was absolutely great. And I had the opportunity to meet him, and I have followed him. I have read his books. I have done so many things. And the pleasure right now is all mine to welcome in with me today, Dr. Ian Smith. Hey, Dr. Ian.
Hey, Sunshine, how are you?
I am doing so well. I am so glad that we've got this opportunity. I mean, it's been a long time since we've talked, but the fact of it is I have followed you and followed you and followed you because I think what you do is absolutely phenomenal. And for you to take the time out to talk with me today means the world.
Well, I appreciate you as always. I love your support. It's been a while since I've seen you, but you look great, and thank you for continuing doing your thing.
Thank you, Dr. Ian. No, you know what, Dr. Ian, look, I know that we've all talked about the health, and you are so all about the health and wellness, but you've taken another route and doing something else with your writing. And I'm so excited to find out all about Eagle Rock.
Yeah, I've been writing health and wellness books for a very long time, as you've stated, but I've also been a great reader and lover and writer of fiction. Right. I like crime fiction and detective stories. So my new book is called Eagle Rock. This is what it looks like right here.
Yes.
It's a detective-based series in Chicago. Sunshine, first of all, not only do I love this genre, but I wanted to write a book in the way that I like to read books. I like fast-paced, right from the beginning, page-turners. I like to be deeply engaged with the characters, with the scenes. I like twists and turns.
Right.
And so the Ashe Cayne series, this is book 4 of the series, but you can read the books out of order. A lot of people have started with Eagle Rock, which just came out a couple weeks ago, and now they're going back reading the other books in the series. But I really wanted to write a character I'd never seen before, either in books or on the TV screen. And so I developed this character, Ashe Cayne. He's a modern day private investigator, not like the old kind of curmudgeonly, cigar chomping Lumbo types. This is a younger guy. He's hip. He's fun. He's comfortable in his skin. He's fearless. He's sexy. He's intelligent. He's just a fun guy.
I hear you. I mean, I love your description here because, I got the book this weekend. I started reading, okay? I can't wait to finish and follow up because I'm going to have to go back and get all of it so I can catch up. But the fact of it is, when you say he's young, he's hip, he's all of that in the scene, how did you come up with these plots, though, Dr. Ian?
Well, it's interesting. Living in Chicago, the plots just are on the news every night. I mean, crazy stuff happens. Good stuff happens also. But there's so much content. There's so much information I can pull from that makes it easier for me. But like my friends always say to me, man, you got a vivid imagination.
Exactly.
I am always thinking about story. I'll see people, I'll see a situation, I'll hear something, and I'll say to myself, wow, that would be great in a book. So I'm constantly thinking about these things.
Oh, man, but it is, and with that, you see, I had to put your book on the screen. But I want everybody to realize with Dr. Ian, as you said, you see, he's not just confined. He has so much talent that he opens up and he lets it flow through his writing. And with this series, I understand, Dr. Ian, that there's even a possibility that this can be turned into a movie?
Yeah, or a TV show. So it's been optioned, which is a Hollywood term, meaning that producers have said, we want to purchase the right to make this into a movie or a TV show. So we're in that process now. They're looking at casting possibilities. So anyone who reads Eagle Rock or has read it, if you have some ideas of who you think should play Ashe Cayne, who is the main character, definitely hit me up on Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith. Spell the doctor out, I-A-N Smith. Sunshine, can I quickly tell you what the plot is for the viewers?
Talk to me. Tell me everything about it.
Okay. So basically, Elliot Cantor is a billionaire Chicago businessman. He is found late one night in his secret apartment, in his bed, in a compromised position. And the police come, they're talking to his son. They don't understand why their dad is dead or why he's in this particular position that he's in. And the commander pulls the son to the side and says, listen, there's only one guy in the city who can really help you solve this case, who works quietly, efficiently, without any restrictions. His name is Ashe Cayne, which is our main character. And so Ashe Cayne comes into the scene and he takes this case.
Oh, wow. And I noticed in some of the video that I watched with you, Dr. Ian, when you're walking down the street with this, it's this silhouette that I see of you. I just can see the excitement. I can't wait to get the entire series so that I can catch up on what Ashe Cayne is all about. And I know that it's a mystery there, and I call it the superhero. Am I on the right way of feeling that he's a superhero?
He is. I mean, he's the kind of guy that women like and guys like. He's the kind of guy who you can have a beer with and pizza. He's fearless. 1 minute he'll be quoting Shakespeare. The next minute he'll be quoting a hip hop artist like Biggie Smalls or Kendrick Lamar. He's that kind of guy who's always comfortable no matter where he is, whether he's in the wealthy north side of Chicago or the tough, gritty west side. It doesn't matter for Ashe Cayne. He is who he is. And most importantly, he is going to stay on the case until it's solved.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can see the excitement in your face with that smile. That when you're writing, Dr. Ian, I mean, do you have to, with these books with this series that you're doing now, how did it come apart? Did you just get a vision one day? I know that with Chicago and everything that happens there, when the vision, and then, with writing, you've got to have, is it a certain way, I don't know how I want to ask this, that when you're sitting there, that your thoughts, because these books are big books, how is it that you...
They are. They're complicated books because there are layers and twists and turns. I write very differently than most writers. I spend about 2 months writing the book in my head first. I see my books visually in a cinematic way. Okay. So I see the characters, I can see them, I can hear them, I can smell the environment. And then what I do is I try to get my beginning, my middle, and my end. And once I feel like I have those goalposts set, once I have those landmarks, then I sit down to my computer and actually write. So I don't do an outline, but I'm in my head for several months thinking about how this thing is going to move, how it's going to turn, and then it's off to the races when I get in front of my computer.
Absolutely. And Dr. Ian, I want everybody to realize this is not just your first set of books. Because I have so many of your books. It's even, on relationships, you have books with that as well. But with that style of writing, I see that you can just impart in so many ways that even now coming up with a TV show series, I think that deserves a great big ha moment, that you can still focus on what you're doing, because I see you still focus on even with the fact of health and wellness.
Yeah, listen, I write 2 books a year. I write the fiction, that I just came out, like Eagle Rock, and then I write the health book. In fact, my new book in January 25 is going to be a health book called Eat Your Age. Basically, what are the best foods, the best medical tests, the best exercises, a 30-day meal plan for your decade of life. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s plus, I'm going to spell out for you in clear language, this is what you need. So that book comes out in January 25. In fact, if people pick up a copy of Eagle Rock, if you order a copy of Eagle Rock, send me a message on Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith. Once again, spell the doctor out, I-A-N Smith. And I will give you a free copy of my January 25 book called Eat Your Age. So pick up a copy of Eagle Rock. You get a free copy of Eat Your Age. Just send me a message.
Wow. So that's a double whammy right there. So you're getting a great thing. You're getting this great book with Eagle Rock, and then he's going to give you something on top of that to get you healthy. See, he covers everything. That's why he is such, what I can say, so important for the community. I don't care where you are, because he has been out doing this for so very long. And when you got somebody that's doing something with consistency, I believe that consistency works. And he is one that really tells you how to do it. And Dr. Ian, with your writing, I can't wait to hear what's your next step, what you're going to do on the next go around.
Well, I already have that finished. So the next book for Ashe Cayne is a journey. It's called The Alderman. That's all done. I'm going to be excited. Yeah, it's already done, ready to go, be out next summer.
Oh, wow. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ian does not waste any time. And when he's got things like this going on, I want to encourage you to get your book, because Dr. Ian, what I'm planning on doing, and this may be the one that I kick it off with, I'm going to start a book reading club. And that will be the way, so we can start off with Dr. Ian and Eagle Rock.
And if you do that, I'll come visit your book club via Zoom. How about that?
Oh, are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Well,
I would love to talk to the readers.
Well, listen at this one. They'll get ready, because we're going to do that, because I think that's a way I always encourage people to read more. And with, I'm going to call it a mystery like this, you want to be a part of it. What Dr. Ian has taken the time to write and then has already finished the next session of it, so we can get caught up. Now, there are 3 more before this, right? Let's talk about those and what we can bring them up to date with, so they can get to the Eagle Rock.
Yeah, each book is a standalone case, so you don't have to read one to read the other. But the first one is called The Unspoken, which is about a missing girl who was dating the nephew of one of Chicago's biggest gangsters. The second one is called Wolf Point. That book is about a school board president who is found mysteriously half submerged in the Chicago River with a bullet to his torso. And so we're trying to figure out what happened there. And the third book is called The Overnights, which is about a ratings war between 2 primary anchor women, and something, let's just say, uncomfortable happens, and Ashe Cayne is called in to try to figure out what has happened. So those are the first 3 books. Like I said, they're standalone cases. You can read them in any order that you want. Eagle Rock is the most recent installment that just came out, but you can start with Eagle Rock and then work your way backwards.
Okay, let me ask you something, Dr. Ian. Some of these books, perhaps, maybe some of the things that I know when you talk about Chicago, we always know about Chicago, are they somewhat based on perhaps maybe some things or tidbits of things that have happened in that area?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Chicago really is a character in the book. I mean, there's so much that goes on with this great city, good and bad, and in between, everything.
Right.
That the city itself becomes a character. People who read the series talk about how they feel like they were in Chicago. They were in these restaurants. All the restaurants are restaurants. The streets are the right names. They go in the right directions. I really wanted to draw on the factual basis of the city and then build the mystery on top of that.
Absolutely. And I know I was watching the Zoom the video that you sent me, and you, as I could see this Ashe Cayne, he was walking down the street and he was talking about there's a church on every corner, and even with the politicians and everything, how it all works. I felt like it was just real of what's happening today.
Yeah, it is. It is. Chicago's an interesting city. It unfortunately gets a bad rep for violence and crime. But let me tell you, Sonshine, I travel the country on tour. You know, a lot of cities, unfortunately, have difficult times, and Chicago is no different than any other city. But there's also a lot of greatness to the city. There's a lot of fun to the city. It is a beautiful city that is built on the lake with one of the most beautiful skylines in the country. So I wanted people to get a realistic view of Chicago, both the good, the bad.
Right.
But, you know, it's everything. It's everything.
Absolutely. And we're going to play that video, okay? Because I want everybody to see that YouTube that you sent me, so they'll get the feeling of what I was talking about in regards to what it made me feel like when I was watching it, and then to hear your voice as you depict every step that you were taking. And then I had somebody telling me something, Dr. Ian, I lost my thought. But anyway, what it made me feel like when I was there. But what we're going to do, Dr. Ian, we're going to share that. We're going to go into break and go straight into the video and come back to you. What about that?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Everybody stay close. We're talking with Dr. Ian Smith, one phenomenal man who does great, great work. And we're glad to have him right here with us on Sonshine's Corner. Stay close. We'll be back with more.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Well, I think it's all about local. and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
The Reesburg Institute, Pensacola's ear, nose, throat, and voice center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reesburg Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference.
Hello, my name is Eric, and this was my first visit to Little John's. The selection, the pricing here, and the customer service were outstanding. I would definitely recommend. The staff was very friendly, and they'll get you what you need.
Hi, this is John with Little John's Big and Tall here in Pensacola, Florida at 5700 North Davis Highway. Check us out at littlejohnsbigandtall.com, where we can take care of you with extra large up to 14X and large tall to 6X tall.
Bosch has LA, Spencer had Boston, but Ashe Cayne has Chicago. His city, built on the lake. Iconic skyline, gilded mansions, tough streets. And a case only he can solve. Eagle Rock. Pick up your copy now.
Absolutely. That is Dr. Ian Smith, and as you can see, the excitement in his voice with that commercial right there, that preview about Eagle Rock. And I can't thank Dr. Ian for taking the time to come in to spend time with us today, because that really means a lot. And I tell you, I just commend you every single day, Dr. Ian. I've been a supporter of yours for over 10 years, 15 years, as a matter of fact. It's been a long time. And I love what you do.
It's been a long time. I appreciate you. I appreciate your viewers, your listeners. If you want a fun read, you got some time to spend, definitely check out Eagle Rock. It's a lot of fun. I hope to keep you guessing to the end. And once again, if you purchase a copy, just send me a message on Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith, spell the doctor out, and I'll make sure I get you a free copy of my January 25 book, which is right around the corner.
That's right.
Called Eat Your Age. So please send me messages.
And you know what, Dr. Ian, I'll say this as well, and I want everybody to know something. If you inbox him or message him, he calls you back. He reaches out back to you. He's a man of his word. He does it. Am I right, Dr. Ian?
Yes, ma'am. It's me and only me.
And he does it. And I got to say, Dr. Ian, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about the new book, Eagle Rock, Mr. Ashe Cayne, and all of the stuff that where he and his father, if you read the book, you can see that they're really in jeopardy, and that how all this novel is going to work out. And get ready for the next one that's coming up. Well, get all 4 of them, as a matter of fact. And what I think that's really good, Dr. Ian has already made a promise to you. Once I get this book club started, he's going to do Zoom calls to talk with us about his books. And if you order your book today, you get yourself the free book on Eat Your Age. And I can't wait to get that one to see how that works, because I'm a believer in taking care of the body. And Dr. Ian and I, that's how we connected years ago.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thanks to the audience. And guys, go vote. Get all your credentials, whatever it takes. Make sure you get it right and go vote. It's very important for all of us.
Absolutely, it is. And you know, I was talking about that earlier, Dr. Ian, just before I came to you. That was what I was talking about, is how important it is to vote. Cast your vote. You want to be heard, then this is the way you speak the loudest, by casting your vote. Thank you, Dr. Ian Smith, for coming in with us today.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you, because you know I'm going to keep you on with me for a long time. Have a great one, Dr. Ian. I love you with a perfect kind of love.
Love you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Everybody, that is Dr. Ian Smith, and I tell you, that man right there has done some phenomenal work, and I tell you, he's yet doing it. Make sure you go out and get your book. Get your book, and read that. To have him take the time to come on with us this morning, he's in Chicago, and I'm sure you remember the show. This is when I really fell in love with Dr. Ian, when he was doing the Celebrity Pick Club. But this is what I'm saying. He made a promise that he'll come in and do some things for us. And I'll tell you what else, Dr. Ian is a man of his word. He did this before. He surprised me and flew into Pensacola, and we spent the day together going around in the city just to make a difference. So you see where I'm going, right? Want him to come into Pensacola. But it's all about getting you set to read more. Read more. Read. Knowledge. 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 Read. This is how you make change. This is how you do things to to fill yourself with knowledge. Even if you're reading his books, these novels that he's got that will just get you ready for whatever. I mean, it's a suspense. I can't wait to finish the book. Then I want to go back and get 1, 2, and 3 so we can even catch up and do even more. This is what Sunshine's Corner is all about. We're not just going to sit here and talk to you about the sad things. We're not going to talk to you about all the troubles that we have, because we have them. I want to open the door for you that let you experience there's so much more in this big world that we can be a part of. There are so many people that are willing to work with us to make things better. Let's not just keep ourselves in a little ball like this instead of expanding to make ourselves even bigger and better. And I say that to say this. Even when it comes down to whatever it is that you're doing with yourself, I've taken the time, I wrote a book. But all I'm saying, you can do the same thing. Take this opportunity. As you can see, Dr. Ian, he says he writes 2 books a year. Well, and how long did it take me, Eric, to do that book? What, 6 months? If 6 months? Because once you focus and get your thoughts together, that is something else that you can do. Don't let nobody take away the fact that you can do and stand on your own. What I'm trying to get to you, I use Dr. Ian. Sure, he's a doctor. He went through all the education and he's got that behind his belt. However, what am I saying to you today? That you can do the same thing. Don't let anything stop you. If it's not even a book, get out there and do something positive. Do something that can make a difference right here at home. And leave your legacy. With his legacy of writing books, his legacy of health and wellness, it's a good thing that we can do these things. But I say this, let's not allow anyone, don't be a follower on everything, be a leader. Lead some things that you have on the inside of you, birth them into fruition, and let that be another part that's going to catapult you to go to another level. If nobody's there with you to support you, know that one thing, he is. He does not give you those ideas to let them sit there dormant and do nothing. You see, every single day I come on this show to try to show you different aspects of the community and what's going on. But I want you to take the time also to look at you individually on things that you can do to make a difference. Because you can. Sometimes it has to have that positive person right there next to you to motivate you. But I always believe this, if the person that you're clinging to is not getting you closer to the truth, then they're pulling you away from the truth. Let me say that again. If you are not affiliated with people that are taking you closer to the truth, then they're pulling you away from the truth. I'll say this as well as even with your spiritual growth. Because I believe right now our spiritual growth has so much to do with what we are completely successful with. If a person that you're dealing with is not taking you closer to the fact of the truth of your spirituality, then they're pulling you away from it. Because it doesn't connect that way. I think that's where it comes on that we got to be people should flock together who believe together. People who are on the same level should be there together and know that when you do these kind of things, come on, you're going to go into a better spot. God catapults us into another level. But the fact of it is you got to be willing to let go of some things to receive some new things to take you to new levels. Are you ready for that? I needed to have this today because these are some things I have been wanting to say for the longest. If there are things that you do, you know how you can run around. If a person is always shooting to you the negative, rid yourself of that. Rid yourself of the negativity and look for the positive side. If that's a constant thing, that person or those people that are around you are always negative and taking you to the wrong area, don't you think you need to let that go? If you're not strong enough to take them to the positive? That's a mouthful. Oh man, all of this is things that I do that's on the inside of me that I would want to get out, because I thank God for the fact that I've got this show right here, the opportunity to be able to express to you, to show you that there are others right here in the area, outside the area, that are willing to make those sacrifices to make things different and better for us. Dr. Ian's last words were what? Encourage everybody to vote. We've been talking about that all day. All of these things that we talk about, when you add this and this and this together, they all comprise and come up to the same thing. It's about being better. It's about being better. And I'll be so pleased one day when we can get people to take the I out of the equation, and it's us. I really will. I hate the fact when people take the negative and run with it. When you can't see, maybe that's a person trying to help you, but you want to look at it because of the fact you don't want to accept the fact of what it really is, because you're doing it for you alone and not, you talk one thing, but your actions showing another. Oh, don't let me go there. Guys, it's been a fantastic day. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to spend a little time with you today on a personal note. And I'll say this to everybody, maybe you're dealing with something else. Talk to your Father. He'll get you through it. There is always a greater power, and that greater power, when you tap into it, my God, what a resource you're going to have when you tap into that. So as I leave you every day, and I try to keep you on a positive note, that I try to find the positive in everything. I want you to do this. Know that you are know your worth, know your value, that there's nothing that you can't do with the help of the Almighty God. I believe that. Well, it's been a fantastic Monday, a way to get our Monday started off, and nothing but positivity. Read more. Get the books, get Dr. Ian book, get my book, read, get Sonshine's book, log on and get it and read, my dear friends. Knowledge is power. Read, even though he's telling you about Ashe Cayne, that's just a figurative person he made up. But still, it's about things that's happening in life today. Gotta go, but I'll leave it as I do. Never, ever, ever lose your focus, friends. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. You know if you do that, you're going to be a total success. Know that I love you, my dear friends, with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. I'll see you tomorrow. Sonshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.